What's going on, guys? Welcome to the studio. Now, I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I figured that I would wait until the studio was 100% complete. So yeah, welcome to the studio. I'm so excited to show you guys around. So, just to give you guys a short backstory, I have rented studios here in Copenhagen for my entire career, which is more than 10 years. So last year I sold my apartment and I canceled my lease on my studio, and I bought this very house in the area of Sydhavn in Copenhagen. So this particular part of the house is from 2017, so it's only 3 years old. I knew instantly that this was going to be the studio because it's very well built. You have brand new like hardwood flooring from Scandinavian oak. And yeah, I just knew that this was going to be a crazy studio because of the windows and the daylight in here. So let me just tell you guys about the building of the actual room before I get into all the gear and stuff. So initially, I brought in this acoustics expert from a company called Sound Envision named Michael. And what Michael did was he measured the room without anything in it. Then he sent me the measurements and we decided on what to put in the room in terms of acoustic treatment. So yeah, first thing we did was we put isolation on the entire ceiling. I was afraid I was gonna lower the ceiling as well, or have plates above my seating position, but actually the measurements came out pretty clean after we isolated the ceiling here. So after we isolated the ceiling, we actually blinded 2 windows. We had a window over there, and we had a window right above the door when you enter the studio, which we actually end up blinding both of them. So yeah, that's what we did. So after the ceiling and the windows, we faced the biggest issue of building this studio, the windows. So I wanted this studio to have the natural lighting that the double doors and all the windows provided. But obviously, it's a big issue in terms of acoustics. So what I did was I brought in this glass company, and they actually kept the existing windows and glass, and then we built another layer inside of the windows. So all the windows and doors are now double layered, and the inner part of the glass in the windows are minus 40 dB, I think, like very thick glass. So when I blast music in here, you can't really hear it on the outside. And another thing we did was get this 38 dB reducing soundproof door. It was ridiculously expensive, but there's a big hallway on the other side, so it was definitely worth it. Also, for the acoustic treatment, we have these 3 absorber plates behind the couch and on the rear wall there. And the room is just sounding crazy right now. The last part of making the acoustic treatment of the room here was all the acoustic panels and bass traps and everything. So the corners are from Acoustic, the French company. It's just 3 bass traps in every corner in here. And then we put these diffuser panels on each side of the speaker position. So on each side of the desk. They're also from Acoustic. And then I put in all the furniture and everything. We did some final measurements, and honestly, the room is sounding so good right now. It's not like overly dead, but it has a super nice and natural sound to it. There's no resonance or anything. So yeah, let me just put up the measurements of the room that we did after everything on the screen right now. And as you'll see, the response curve is pretty decent, to be honest. And the room is just sounding amazing right now.
Baby, I'm a son on the beat.
So, in terms of lighting here in the studio, I knew that I wanted something that would look natural by day, and that if I wanted to, I can adjust it and make it look like more EDM. So I can get that like neon, harsh, electronic looking lighting. So I bought Philips Hue for everything. So the ceiling lights, Philips Hue. And in the corners behind the bass traps, I put in these Philips Hue light strips. So everything is controllable. So yeah, I can switch up the moods whenever I want to. And I love the feeling here at night. It just looks crazy. Let me show you. lot of you guys are watching this video to know which gear I use, so let's go through it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to my gear is, of course, the desk. So, when I was looking for a desk for this studio, I wanted something that would look natural and keep that Scandinavian feel, but also something that's practical. So, when I'm editing video, for example, when I'm doing emails, I like to be standing. So, I was looking around the market, and honestly, I couldn't find anything. So, what I did was, I pitched the idea to my dad, and I was like, yo, can we build our own desk? Would it be possible to buy a height adjustable thing and then buy like sustainable Scandinavian oak for the actual desktop, glue them together and like create this unique looking desk? And he was down for the idea. So we did this massive desk project, and I think it took about 4 months from start to finish. It was a very long process of building the desk, but the final result is out of this world. So yeah, the desk is absolutely crazy. So we thought about the business idea of actually doing this as a business and selling these desks to other producers. But we couldn't find a shipping carrier that would actually ship something that big and heavy, which sucks because I would love to actually be able to do like a desktop business doing these unique desks. So that didn't happen, unfortunately. So for the gear in the studio, I brought my existing speakers, the Focal Twin B. I love this monitor. I've had them for like 7 years, and I do not plan on switching. At one point, I might get like the Amphions or like the Barefoots or something. I actually like the Amphions more. But yeah, honestly, I love these monitors. I know their sound very well, and I will continue to use them forever. Recently, I got the iLoud micro monitors, just as like a reference thing. I use them when I travel as well. They're dope for like hotel room producing and stuff like that. And yeah, so actually I bought a new subwoofer recently. For many years, I've had like the cheapest, I think it was a Yamaha, I can't even remember. It was a Samsung, the cheapest subwoofer that you could get on Thomann. They're basically like the European Sweetwater. Recently, I got a new subwoofer as well from Denaudio, a Danish company. Super great subwoofer, it's so tight. And yeah, I have everything going through my monitor controller, which is the SPL2 control. So from the SPL2 control, I can control the monitors. Do I want the subwoofer on or off? Do I want to play mono? All that. It gets routed through my universal audio sound card. I actually thought of buying an X6 when we built the desk. So I already managed to build in some rack space in the desk for the X6 that I will hopefully buy this year. So in terms of microphones, right now I have the Neumann TLM 102. I know a lot of people are actually against Neumanns. I kind of like them. You just gotta tame and control the high end when you use them. I've also had the TLM 103. I've had Rode mics. I've had a bunch of different microphones. This year I'll probably get like the Sony C100 or something like that. But I honestly don't know yet. I have it sitting in the Chaotica eyeball. Shout out Chaotica for sending that one out. And honestly, I can get some pretty good recordings done here. If you've listened to my music, all the vocal recordings, done right there. This microphone, this setup. So, in terms of computing here in the studio, I have my MacBook Pro, fully spec'd from 2016. It is the first MacBook Pro new generation with touch bar, meaning that it sucks because it's thermal throttling all the time. It has so many issues. And honestly, as soon as I can upgrade, I'll do it. Funny story is I actually tried to upgrade a couple months ago. I bought the Mac Mini M1 and I tried it out. And honestly, no plugins whatsoever was working with the M1 Mini. So it's just sitting there and I can't use it, which really hurts my heart, to be honest. But hopefully the software developers will support the M1 in the future, but who knows. Right now I have the computers rooting through the LG 4K monitor, which works pretty well. Sometimes the MacBook Pro overheats because it's connected to an external display, but it works pretty well, to be honest. So when I'm working on like CPU heavy projects, I actually open up the MacBook and use it without the display. So yeah, that's the tech setup for the studio. So in terms of my work chair here for the studio, I've been sitting in awful chairs my entire career. So I went ahead and bought the Secret Lab Titan chair, And honestly, it's been amazing. You can adjust like the low back support and stuff like that. It's so good. So yeah, guys, that's basically it for the studio. Honestly, I think I've covered pretty much everything. Drop it down in the comments below if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer it. And yeah, guys, welcome to Manu Studio 2021. Let's go. Peace.
Baby, I'm a son on the beat.